I'm going to break down Warrior 2 for you now. I like to do, personally, and when I teach, a ground up approach. So we're going to start with our foundation. We're going to build from the feet up. So I'm going to start facing you. And the first thing I'm going to look at is my feet. My heel can be aligned with either the other heel in the back or it can be aligned with the arch, whatever feels more comfortable for you. I'm going to spread wide through the toes and try to feel a balance from the front foot to the back foot, and then individually feel a balance all the way around those feet. The back foot, some yogi teachers will say it has to be at a specific angle. I always say however that angle feels for your knee. So some people say you bring it in at a closer angle, 45, open it up a little bit wider. So pay attention to how the angle of that back foot feels for that back knee. Once you get there, I'm going to turn around. We're going to talk about the knee. We're going to make sure that it is stacked right over that front ankle, that it's not forward, or it's okay for it to be pulled back behind it if your hips are a little bit tighter and you're working into a deeper Warrior 2. But I'm going to set mine right over the ankle, and then I'm going to make sure that my knee is not splaying inward or splaying outward. So when I look down, I see that my kneecap is aligned right with that big toe. So now that we've built our foundation, we feel comfortable in however we're stacking ourselves. We're not going to dump all that weight down into that foundation. We're going to lift up. We're going to engage through from our hips all the way down to our feet. You're going to feel the quads fire up, the calves, all of it. The hips, tricky. Everybody's hips are different. Nobody's hips are the same. And individually left to right, front to back, are not the same. So put your hands on your hips. Maybe even get your hands to those bony protrusions on the front end. From here, you're going to notice if the hips are even left to right, or maybe the front hip dips lower than the back hip. That's the most common. See if you can bring them up nice and even left to right. And then notice if your tailbone is flipped and tucked out, and you almost feel like your bottom is sticking out behind you, or maybe even that back hip is sticking out and pointed back towards behind you. Give it a little tuck, give it a little bit of alignment front to back, side to side, and even play with rocking forward and back. What feels the best for you? Optimal alignment makes you feel comfortable and it makes you feel safe in this pose. Once you're done playing with the hips, take a look at the torso. Are you leaning forward? Are you stacked right over that nice alignment through the hips, through the legs? Once you're there, take a look at the shoulders. Are you broad? Are you rounding through the shoulders? Set those shoulders back. Then go along through the arms to the sides. Once you're there with the arms along to the sides, check in with those shoulders. Are they reaching up towards the ears? Let them soften back behind you. Is your front palm and your left palm nice and even, front to back? Or are you kind of tilted one way or the other? I often see that students have the front hand raised lower than the back hand. That's a good sensory too, because if you don't have a mirror in your studio or your home space, then you're going to have to kind of feel, are my arms nice and even? Are my shoulders nice and even? And once you find that nice and even alignment, and your torso is more or less pointing directly at the wall that you're facing, then you can take just your gaze, just your neck and chin, and look over that front palm. That's your Warrior 2. Play around with it some more. See if you can find what's the most optimal alignment for the feet, for the hips, for the torso, the shoulders, everything. And guarantee it's going to look different than anybody else's that is around you and practicing with you.